The much awaited year of 2026 is here, and I'm so excited to share with all of you your astrology predictions for 2026. 2026 is a year of new beginnings and where we reap the rewards for all the efforts and hard work that we have been putting for the past 3-4 years. So, if you want to dive deep into in-depth, most accurate, detailed astrology predictions for 2026, then I highly suggest you look into your sun, moon, and rising signs. If you don't know what are your sun, moon, rising signs, then you can use any online birth chart calculator to find out the placements for your sun, moon, and rising signs. The rising sign, or your sign of the ascendant, is the sign of your first house in astrology. It's going to tell you how each house, how every area of your life is going to function. So I highly recommend you do look into your rising sign. Your sun sign is going to tell you more about your work or profession or soul purpose, because sun is the natural indicator of our soul, our identity. And your moon sign is going to tell you more about your emotional and mental well-being during the course of the year and how things are going to be for you emotionally, because moon is the natural indicator of our mind and our emotions in astrology. If you don't know your time of birth, then you can definitely use your moon sign or your sun sign based on the day on which you were born. So once you've calculated these details, you can go into the description box to your own sign to find out your personal astrology prediction. I do want you to know that I refer sidereal astrology or the Vedic astrology, which is a little bit different from your zodiac sign, because sidereal astrology looks at the actual placement of the planets in the sky. So I do recommend that you find an online sidereal birth chart calculator to find your sun, moon, and rising. I'm going to pin one of the sidereal birth chart calculator in the description box for your reference, but you can use any that you may like. As I said earlier, definitely check out your sun, moon, and rising. Now let's get into the video. So if you are Gemini, sun, moon, or rising, then this is what you can expect in 2026. Jupiter is going to be transiting your first house, and this is a really blessed transit for you. Your first house is the house of your identity. How do you perceive yourself? First house is the house of ego. First house is the house of your own body. So in this time period, you will see that if you had any limiting beliefs, if you had any negative self-talk about yourself, that will start to go away and you will start to develop a more positive inner critique for yourself. From June, Jupiter is going to be transiting your second house. Second house is the house of your resources, of your financial stability, of your wealth. And so in this time period, you will see that you may be inclined to do some research on how to save more money, or how to build more investments, or how to build more wealth that can actually be sustainable for a longer time period. Second house is also the house of speech, as I said. So in this time period, your speech may be given more respect by the people around you, or you're able to maybe earn more money through some public speaking project or public speaking assignment. Second house is also the house of food. So during this time period, you may be attracted to more nourishing and homely foods that are more healthy, and they make you feel full of energy and the prana, or full of the life force. From October, Jupiter is going to be transiting your third house, which is the house of your siblings, of your social network, or your neighbors, your colleagues, your business contacts, short distance travel. So you will see, so you may have opportunities to hang out more with your colleagues or your social network, or there may be more social outings, and they can actually be really fruitful and lucky for you. So you should go and, take part in them. Third house is also the house of your creative skills. So you may develop an interest in maybe writing a book or maybe starting a social media hustles. And third house is also the house of your social media presence. Or you may want to start like an online portal or an e-commerce business. So Jupiter's presence here is going to be really fruitful for these things. Throughout the year, Saturn is going to be transiting your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of our career, of our public status, our reputation, authority figures, and Saturn's placement here, it was going to make you work hard. You may have to put in repeated efforts. There may be some obstacles or some delays. You may have increased responsibility, but when Saturn gives you these responsibilities, if you don't run away from them and you keep going at it with resilience, you're also able to manifest long-term material gains or some leadership position. So you may have some promotions at work, or you're now able to finally land the business project that you've been trying to get for a long time. This is also a really good time period to start your own business, because Saturn-oriented people do very well with their business. They're able to take risks. They're able to persist even in failure. So when Saturn is placed in 10th house, really good time if you've been thinking of starting your own business or starting a side hustle. This is a very blessed time for this. Of course, it's not going to be easy. You will have to make a lot of sacrifices. There may be delays. There may be some anxiety because of these obstacles and delays. But if you keep going at it, if you keep putting in the efforts, then definitely it's going to give you a lot of rewards as well. Saturn's placement in 10th house can also give you some clashes with the authority figures. So you may see that there are some changes in the authority figures, or you yourself may come in a position of authority. So you maybe become like in a leadership position in your company, or like I said, you start your own business, and so now you are in a leadership position of that. On 20th of February, there's going to be a Saturn and Neptune conjunction in your 10th house. Neptune is a planet of divine blessing, and it's really powerful in a sign of Pisces. So this is going to be very blessed for your career and your reputation. If there's anything that you have been putting in effort, especially for the past 1 or 2 years. So if there is something that you have been putting in effort diligently, then this is a good time period for you when you will start to see and reap the rewards of whatever it is that you've been working towards. Also, we're starting the year on 18th of January with a stellium of 6 planets in your 8th house of Capricorn. So on 18th of January, we're going to have Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Venus joining Pluto, that is already there in your 8th house of Capricorn. And this stellium also has a significant impact from the Saturn. So 8th house is the house of your marriage, of shared resources, insurance, taxes, inheritances, your in-laws. And so you may see that starting from the year, there's going to be a sense of redirection coming into these areas of your life. So you may be sitting down with your partner and deciding how the allocation of resources is going to be, or maybe your parents want to have a talk with you on how the inheritances are going to work for you, or you decide to take on a new insurance on your life, or to protect some asset. In any way, you will see that there's going to be like a recharting or a redirection in themes related to the 8th house, and it is going to affect you for the rest of the year. So you should also be mindful of that. Throughout the year, Rahu and Ketu, or the North Node and the South Node, are going to be activating the axis of Aquarius in Leo. So for you, that's going to be your 9th house and your 3rd house axis. When you have Ketu in your 3rd house, you may feel some sort of detachment from your siblings, or from your social network, or from your neighbors, your business contacts. In 9th house and Rahu, it can talk about maybe moving to a foreign place, because it does talk about foreign settlement or long distance travel. So maybe, you shift to some foreign place, because of which your relationship with your siblings or with your immediate neighbors neighbors or immediate social network becomes a little bit detached. Ninth house also talks about your father, so your relationship with your father can completely change or evolve during this time period. There may be some ups and downs or some sudden ups and downs, but if you keep a more diplomatic approach, all in all, it's going to be in your favor. Ninth house also talks about our belief system. So you may develop an unorthodox belief system where you start to evaluate things more from another point of view so that it leads to an expansion of your thought processes. So all in all, this looks like a really transformational year for you. Another thing I want to talk about is since 8th house is also connected to occult and to hidden sciences, tarot, astrology. So since we also have a stellium here, if you do feel an inclination towards a career in any of these fields, then maybe this is a good time for you to start your new business. As we were talking, you'll have Saturn in 10th house, which is good for starting a new business. You'll also have Jupiter in 2nd and 3rd, where you can find out how to start a new business or how to learn a new skill. So if you do feel that kind of an inclination towards any spiritual profession or any occult or research, analytics, 8th house related professions, then that is going to be really fruitful for you, and you should consider starting a side hustle or a business in that. All in all, it's going to be a really fruitful year for you, and you have the blessings of Jupiter from the very beginning. So make the most of this year 2026.